She adopted a mermaid baby in the river. Part 1. The day Amina found the baby, the river was not moving. That was the first strange thing. In her village, the river never slept. It always moved, always made soft sounds, always touched the stones like it was whispering secrets. But that evening, the river was quiet. Too quiet. Amina stood at the edge of the water and looked around. The sky was turning orange and the birds were flying back home. She bent down to wash the basket she used for fish. That was when she heard it. A soft cry. Not the cry of a goat, not the cry of a bird. A baby. Amina froze. She looked behind her. Nobody. She looked at the path. Empty. The sound came again. A baby was crying. Her heart began to beat fast. Slowly, she turned toward the river. The sound was coming from the water. That is not possible, she whispered to herself. But the crying continued. Small, weak, like a baby that was tired. Amina stepped into the water slowly. The water was cold around her legs. She moved closer, pushing the water aside with her hands. Then, she saw something floating. At first, she thought it was a piece of cloth, but then the cloth moved. Amina's breath stopped. It was a baby. A real baby wrapped in white cloth, floating on the river, but not sinking. "Hey, God," she whispered, quickly carrying the baby out of the water. The baby stopped crying immediately she carried her. The little girl looked up at Amina with big, shiny eyes. The baby's skin was smooth and pale, and her hair was long and black, even though she was just a baby. "Who put you inside this river?" Amina asked softly. There was nobody around. No footprints, no sound, only the silent river. Amina looked at the baby again. The baby was smiling now, holding Amina's finger with her tiny hand. "I cannot leave you here. You will come with me." That was how Amina took the baby home. She told the villager she found the baby near the river. Some people said maybe a mother threw her away. Some said maybe it was a gift from the river. Some old women looked at the baby and said nothing. They just shook their heads slowly. Amina did not care what they said. She had no child of her own, and from that day, she loved the baby like her own daughter. She named her Zina. But strange things started happening. Every night, Zina would cry until Amina carried her outside. Immediately Amina stepped outside and the baby saw the moon, she would stop crying and start laughing. When Zina was 6 months old, Amina noticed something strange again. Zina loved water too much. Any time Amina bathed her, the baby would start laughing and splashing like someone was playing with her inside the water. Sometimes, Zina would look at the water and smile, like she was seeing someone inside it. One night, Amina woke up and did not see Zina on the bed. Her heart jumped. She quickly stood up and ran outside. The door was open. Amina followed the small footprints on the sand behind the house. The footprints were leading to the river. Her heart was beating so loud she could hear it in her ears. "A baby cannot walk," she whispered. "Zina cannot walk." But the footprints were there. Small, fresh, going straight to the river. Amina began to run. When she reached the river, she saw something that made her stop immediately. Zina was sitting at the edge of the river, but she was not alone. Someone was in the water talking to her. Amina could not see the face clearly because the moonlight was behind the person, but she could hear a soft voice singing. Zina was laughing. Then, slowly, the creature in the water lifted a hand, and Amina saw it clearly. It was not a normal hand. It was a hand with webbed fingers, like a creature that lives inside water. Amina tried to shout, but no sound came out of her mouth. Then, the creature in the water turned slowly and looked straight at Amina and smiled. That was when Amina realized something was terribly wrong, and the creature said, "You took my child."